From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. It's Monday, July 19th, 2021. We are here for your practitioner brief, giving you the latest risk, impact, and mitigations of the latest cybersecurity, information security, network and data security vulnerabilities that are out there, cutting through all the headlines and all the clickbait directly to what you need to know in hopefully under 10 minutes. Thank you for everyone tuning in. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I am James Azar, your host. Thank you to Harshil for joining us this morning. Good morning to you, good sir, and happy Monday. I hope everyone had an unbelievable, magnificent weekend. We've got a very, very busy show today. So before we do that, though, a few housekeeping notes. One, if you have not subscribed to the podcast, please make sure to do so. Go check out the CyberHub podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. Please subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, helps boost us up in the ratings if you're listening after the fact. Thank you. We are live daily, Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch. You can go check out our new Twitch channel, CyberHub Podcast. We're growing that medium as well, and we're going to be adding a few more platforms where we're going to be doing exclusive content, so you'll definitely want to be there with us. We're going to talk about the Windows Print Spooler 0-day that's now exploitable again, Cisco patch, a D-Link patch, and China, all part of today's episode. Good morning to the awesome and magnificent James McQuiggan. Today's show would not be possible without the support of our friends from KnowBe4 and Ativo Networks. Go and check them out as well. You don't want to miss it. Happy Monday to the awesome John Dela Cruz as well. Thank you for joining us this morning, folks. Let's get right into what's happening. But before we do that, I'm going to adopt the term coffee cup cheers because James McQuiggan every morning says it. Coffee cup cheers. My double espresso. I don't know if you guys watched the British Open over the weekend. It was a pretty decent one. It was a fun time to watch some golf over the weekend. If you had the chance to just sit back, relax, and catch a few of the rounds that were going on at the British Open. So with that, my double espresso, and again, that beautiful line of foam. And I don't know if you guys can see that beautiful line of foam right there. That's the definition of a good espresso. So with that, folks, cheers. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Let's get right into this. So a new Windows Print Spooler 0-day is exploitable via remote print servers. Another 0-day vulnerabilities in the Windows Print Spooler can give a threat actor administrative privileges files, administrative privileges on a Windows machine through a remote server under the attacker's control and queue the specific files feature. Last month, a security researcher accidentally revealed the 0-day Windows Spooler vulnerability known as Print Nightmare. That CVE tracks as CVE 2021-34527. Exploiting this vulnerability lets a threat actor increase privileges on a machine or execute code remotely. Microsoft did release a fix. However, it was an incomplete fix as many were criticizing it. However, we know how difficult that can be. Security researcher and Mimikatz creator Benjamin Delpy has publicly disclosed a new 0-day vulnerability that allows a threat actor to achieve system privileges on a Windows machine through a remote print server under the control. In a conversation with Bleeping Computer, Delpy said that the exploit uses the queue-specific files features of the Windows point and print capability to automatically download and execute a malicious DLL when a client connects to a print server under an attacker's control. Then the files are downloaded to each client that connects to the print server to exploit the vulnerabilities. The researchers created a print server accessible over the internet with 2 shared printers that use the queue-specific file feature. When executing the malicious DLL, it will run through the system privileges and could be used to run any command on the computer. While Windows enforces that driver packages themselves are assigned by a trusted source, Windows printer drivers can specify queue-specified files that are associated with the use of the device. For example, a shared printer can specify a copy files directive for arbitrary ICM files. Once they're copied, it can give an attacker access across the entire network, and they can move laterally through the network until they gain access to a domain controller. There's a video here. All the links are available on the show notes. There's 2 mitigations for this specific zero-day. 1 is block outbound SMB traffic at your network boundary, or 2, configure package point and print server list as well. That's how you mitigate this specific zero-day. If you're worried about it, those are one of the 2 fixes. Go make sure you get that done. We've got a chai cup cheer for the first time. Harshil, love it. Thank you so much. Nathan is here with us. Good morning, Nathan. I hope you're doing well, brother. All right, let's get into our second story today, where Cisco patches high-risk flaws in the ASA and FTD software. There are no workarounds for this, folks. This is a direct patch by Cisco. This was released on Thursday of last week. Patches for a high-severity vulnerability in the adaptive security appliance and the Firepower threat defense software, warning that exploitation could lead to a crippling denial of service. The advisor carries a high severity rating from Cisco, and the software cryptographic module of both ASA and FTD software is affected by a vulnerability exploitable by either remote authenticated attackers or an it's Monday morning. I'm getting tongue twisted. Or an unauthenticated attacker in a man-of-the-middle position. So, causing the unexpected reload of a vulnerable device, the attacker could cause a denial of service condition, which essentially takes down the whole point of having these routers and appliances in place, and thus leaving you vulnerable. Cisco is urging everyone to please update. We'll continue. We're dealing issues a hotfix for a hard-coded password router vulnerabilities. Today is just not my day, folks. It's Monday. I needed an extra day this weekend. D-Link has issued a firmware hotfix to address multiple vulnerabilities in the DIR 3040 AC3000 based wireless internet router. It's following successful exploitation that can let attackers execute arbitrary code on an unpatched router, gain access to sensitive information, or crash the router after triggering a denial of service state. The DIR 3040 security flaws were discovered and reported by the Cisco Talos security researcher Dave McDaniel, include hard-coded passwords, command injection, and information disclosure bugs. They're tagged as CVE 2021-21818 and 21820. Hard-coded password and credential vulnerabilities exist in the router Zebra IP Routing Manager and the LibCli test environment functionality. Both of them allow threat actors targeting vulnerable D-Link DIR routers to bypass the authentication process and configure and process authentication. Bypass the authentication process configured by the software administrator. You would think I would be able to speak. However, CVE 2021-21819 is a critical OS command injection vulnerability found in the router's LibCli test environment functionality, and can also be used by adversaries for code execution. The vulnerabilities addressed in the firmware hotfix are all listed right here, and they're urging people to please patch these up. Let's get to a comment here. Igor, good morning and have a great week. You too as well, sir. Have a great week, and hopefully we can all deal with these vulnerabilities that we are all encountering. Finally, the Microsoft Exchange attacks that we've all blamed on China have now come out, and the US and its allies officially accused China of the Microsoft Exchange attack, although the consequences of this have yet to be seen outside of just publicly saying, bad China. We should take some action, maybe some sanctions. I don't know. Maybe kick out a few of their consulates. That's an idea. US and allies, including the EU, UK, and NATO, are officially blaming China for this year's widespread Microsoft Exchange hacking campaign, which, for those who don't know, was a result of the SolarWinds, Solari, Gate, and Solarium vulnerability. So started with SolarWinds. FireEye was obviously the first victim that came public. Then Microsoft came out, and now we know that this was China. The Biden administration attributes with a high degree of confidence that malicious cyber actors affiliated with the PRC's MSS conducted. PRC's the People's Republic of China, although it's not the People's Republic of China, since we know it's a communist country. It's the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, who conducts cyber espionage operations utilizing the zero-day vulnerabilities in Microsoft Exchange servers disclosed in early 2021 In some cases, we are aware that PRC government-affiliated cyber operators have conducted ransomware operations against private companies that have included ransom demands of millions of dollars, according to the White House. The attack on Microsoft Exchange software was highly likely to enable large-scale espionage, including acquiring PII and IP, according to the UK National Cybersecurity Centre, the NCSC, and so forth. The UK added that the Chinese Ministry of State Security is also behind Chinese state-backed hacking groups tracked as APT-40 and APT-31. NSA, CISA, and FBI have also issued a joint advisory containing more than 50 TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures that Chinese state-sponsored cyber actors have used in attacks targeting the U.S. and allied networks. CISA and the FBI have also published the IOCs and TTPs to help organizations detect and remediate APT-40 intrusions and establish footholds within their networks. The DOJ has announced criminal charges against 4 MSS criminals indicted here regarding activities part of a multi-year campaign targeting governments around the world and organizations from critical sectors. China continues to be the biggest threat. If you're not talking about China as a security leader within your organizations, you're not educating your board about the decisions they need to make of how to operate should they want to expand or work or get investment from anyone in China. So something that's really critical to look at here, folks. Good morning to Bob, who's joining us late. The proxy logon attackers have also been observed while deploying web shells, crypto mining malware, as well as Deercry and Black Kingdom ransomware payloads on compromised Exchange servers, meaning they're trying to really put in a blow and so forth. So that's it for our practitioner brief today, folks. Get educated on China and their activities. Present it to the board in a very in a very solid place where you talk about the risks that exist from China, so people understand it. These guys are not innocent. Russia's not our biggest threat, folks. China is every single day, and I'll keep talking about it on the show until it sinks in for all of us. So that's it for the practitioner brief today. We'll be back tomorrow again at 9 a.m. with another set of the latest threats that are going on in our organizations. Please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to check out our awesome supporters, Know Before and Ativo Networks. If you missed the webinar I did on Friday with Carolyn and Joseph on Active Directory and Identity IDR, you should go and check it out. It's available on our YouTube channel. Until then, folks, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Please go patch your systems, do good inventory of your assets and your appliances and your devices and your softwares, and make sure you're doing the basics correct in order to increase the difficulty of attack on your organization. I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then, stay cyber safe. Cheers.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.